I, 30F, called my husband's 30M feelings laughable. My husband, 30M, and I, 30F, have been in a relationship for 11 years and married for 4 years and have no kids. My husband quit his job and that same day was his last day. He told me after he decided, let the company know. He expressed that I did the same thing when I took a leave of absence from work, which I strongly disagree with. 6 months prior I took a partial medical leave of absence from work for a slew of medical issues. Reducing my schedule to 20 hours week, full pay, per a medical recommendation, as I had 20 hours of medical appointments week. I informed my husband that I was doing it ASAP. After a month of my husband being unemployed, he got a new job that doesn't provide a vehicle. My husband wanted to get a larger SUV. We found the one he liked and put down a deposit. When driving he asked me to split the down payment. We do have separate finances and he makes almost double what I make. I said I could not do that much at this time. I had loaned my family's business money. He immediately asked what can I contribute monthly, which I said I don't know at this time. I am not talking numbers now as I have payments he has never had. Student loans, health insurance and co-pays I have to consider. He takes his wedding ring off and tosses it. He says we are going to the bank to take me off his account. He is happy that just his name is on the title. When I need a new car I can do it on my own. He feels like I am just not going to contribute anything. It doesn't feel like things are 50-50. And he doesn't think I am being transparent. I don't say much as I am about to have an anxiety attack. He goes to his parents' house and says, I'm leaving. He doesn't text, call me and gets home past 4 a.m. In the morning I find he has had a few drinks. He is an alcoholic and has promised not to drink anymore. There have been so many bad times with that. Just know not great things happened. As the day goes on he tries to talk with me to say a lot of what he already did and, you didn't even offer to contribute. I feel like if roles were reversed I am not sure you would do the same, I said. I find laughable that you don't think I would do the same. When was it 50-50 in college when I paid for everything? When was it 50-50 when I paid for our wedding myself? I just cannot believe you would think for a minute I wouldn't do the same. It fucking hurts that you think I am just trying to take money. I cannot talk to you anymore because you pissed off and unlike you I don't want to say things I may regret later. I was met with him saying, can I get a hug? Sorry for talking about my feelings. It's crazy that he thinks I wouldn't support him and that I was basically just using him and sitting pretty. My family provides so much for us, living in a home rent-free, having vacation homes to go to, etc. I am pissed off with what he said to me and what he feels. I am not sure if it's justifiable or it's so fresh so clouding my judgment. Thoughts? Leave. I highly doubt he quit his job. He was probably fired. It sounds like he is emotionally and financially manipulative if not abusive. If he makes double what you make you all should be splitting finances 1/3 and 2/3. Also quitting his job without talking to you first is a major red flag. That is not a partner. If he has relapsed with his alcoholism he might have been fired and lied to cover his tracks. If I were you at the very least seek counseling. If you won't go for that, seek a divorce attorney. You have way bigger problems in this marriage than your hurt feelings. He is darvoin you. He quits his job without coordination or a plan and tosses his wedding ring. You almost called the wedding off because of his drinking and now here he is drinking again. But he's got you focused on this accusation that you wouldn't support him. I know we only see a snapshot in these posts, but this is a very ugly picture. There's a lot of really concerning things going on here, the least of which is how he reacted to you using the word laughable. He needs to get back on the wagon with sobriety, but that's on him not you. Either way, I would highly recommend that you look into therapy and or Al-Anon. Gut read. He's been drinking a lot more than you realize and he was fired from work. You also need to run a check on his debt, credit. Maybe you have such terrible anxiety and panic attacks because you refuse to leave your shitty marriage? Are you really going to burn another decade of your life on a guy who treats you like this? Please go back to Al-Anon. You deserve more than this. Leave. Me, 33M. Her, 27F. And my mom is proudly racist. So long story short, my mom decided to say it is an obligation to tell me that she wants what's best for me, white Latino male. So she says that my new girlfriend, black Latina, is not good for me. Mind you she knows nothing about her, only one picture. Then we discussed for hours where she said beautiful things like 1. I would hate to have black grandkids with curly hair. 2. Society is racist and you're gonna lose because no one likes a black child. 3. I am racist, classist and I'm not ashamed of it. 4. It hurts me to tell you this. Bekwa say everything's about her, but you have to know I don't like her. I'm shocked, appalled to hear my mom say overtly racist things knowing I am firmly against any type of racism, bigotry. She told me, I should have raised you with better values so you wouldn't choose a black girl. Have you ever dealt with overtly racist parents? How did you manage? I am seriously thinking about moving out to a small apartment or anywhere else. How can I be anti-racist while having an overtly racist, proudly racist mind you, mother? You're 33. If she thinks she has any say in who you choose to love, then she lacks serious boundaries, and I would bet that you are enmeshed. Save money and move out. Living with someone like this will only hold you back and affect your mental health. And yes, she's racist. That has nothing to do with you being anti-racist. You're 33 and you're thinking about moving out? No wonder your mom still thinks she can control your life. Time to start adulting and stop gaff about who your mommy wants you to date. If you can afford it, move out, and tell her you don't want racists in your life. You are condemning your girlfriend to a future of unhappiness if you marry her and don't break ties with your mother. But I understand that breaking ties with your mother can be very difficult, especially if she raised you the best she could with everything and her imperfections. Sometimes men have to make choices. As long as you tolerate it, she will continue it. Set those boundaries now. Your answers to her list should be: 1. Fortunately, you will never meet them because of your racism. 2. Decent people, the kind we will be associated with, are not racist and love all of humanity as God intended. 3. You may not be ashamed of it, but I am deeply ashamed of you. 4. It clearly does not hurt you or you would keep it to yourself. Sadly, you are under the false impression that your opinion matters to me anymore. Move out and find your joy. Racists will continue to think they are valid until people start cutting them out and show them there is no room for this in society. Stop having a relationship with this racist asshole. And make sure you tell her exactly why you're done having a relationship with her. She should face consequences for her racist fuckery, and if that means losing her son, then she has to make that choice. Be racist, or have her son. I don't have relationships with racists. They don't get to be in my life. How do I help my 35 male wife, 35 female, to understand that we may not get our dream home? Too long did not read. Found our dream home, but ours is taking a long time to sell and it's making my wife increasingly disagreeable. Towards the end of last year we decided we were ready to upgrade our current family home. There's nothing specifically wrong with our current home, but we have definitely outgrown it. We started looking in early 2025 and almost immediately found a house that ticked all the boxes. Ideal location, tons of character, room for our family to grow in comfortable guest rooms, etc. Our offer was accepted, mortgage approved, all ready to go once we have sold our home. It has been on the market for 7 months and we have had one serious buyer who pulled out at the last moment, after 3 months. We had a steady stream of viewings that seems to have slowed over summer and the feedback is always the same: the stonework is lovely, the location is great, but the rooms are on the smaller side. Which is totally fair and one of the main reasons we want to move ourselves. The problem is that my wife is letting it eat her up and it is impacting her mood a lot more than it should. She regularly proclaims that she hates this house, even though it was her that swayed me to buy this house originally, and that it has never been enough even though it was always fine until we saw this other house. She is totally blinkered and anything less than this new house will be the greatest tragedy that has ever befallen mankind. Recently I proposed that we draw a line in the sand, and if our house hasn't had an acceptable offer by that date, we take it off the market for a year and try again. The state of perpetual anticipation is getting old. The response I got was very unpleasant and frankly a bit off-putting. There was a tone of entitlement that I really didn't like, but the gist is that this house is a torture chamber and we are actively disadvantaging our child by staying here. This sort of sudden mood change happens every single time it comes up or if she randomly remembers it throughout the day. It's getting tiresome. As someone who grew up in a multi-story apartment block covered by government housing, I struggled to see how our child living in a house that we own, in a safe neighborhood, with their own room and a garden to play in, was anything other than a privilege. But what was clear is that this all-or-nothing approach was harmful for everyone. So I reframed the situation and asked what were the 3 biggest problems with this house, then asked her what would we do to improve them if moving house wasn't an option. But it is an option. Okay, but assume it wasn't, what would we do? That would be awful. It was just this circular conversation where I couldn't even get her to consider that we might stay here. So I took it to an intentionally absurd and sarcastic level and said, okay, so if it is that bad, why do we live here? Shall we go live in the street? Move in with our parents? We need to prioritize our child's well-being and this is apparently harmful to them. She saw the light humor in it, relented and said she can't even engage with the concept of improving the situation because she just hates it so much. How the hell do I make her realize how unreasonable she is being? I like the new house too, but if we stayed here in this house it would be fine for another year or 2. It's safe, warm, modern, we have outdoor space. Things I could only dream of growing up. Our child is perfectly happy here and probably not even conscious that living somewhere else is an option. The only person making the situation unbearable is my wife. Have you lowered the price of your house? Ask your wife if this is the attitude she wants your kid to be exposed to and to internalize, that your perfectly safe nice house with room to play and a garden is horrible and harmful to him. To be ungrateful and unappreciative and unhappy with the privileges he has. To be spoiled, frankly. To have a negative attitude and be bitter and resentful instead of appreciating what he has. Her attitude is way more detrimental to your kid's happiness than the current house could ever be. Can't help with the relationship advice. Sometimes in life our best plans just don't work out. She needs to recognize this. However, as someone who's bought and sold recently, if it's on the market for 7 months and hasn't sold, your price is just too high. It doesn't matter if lowering it eats into your emergency fund, that's just how it goes. If you want to sell, lower the price. You're not magically going to find a buyer without doing that. Ask her what she thinks you should do. When she shrugs her shoulders and has nothing to contribute, say, okay then, it's time for you to do something with this negative energy. You're hurting us. Have you talked to your realtor about your listing price? If the concern is that a lower price would not leave you enough money to afford the other property, then perhaps that's where the conversation should start. Realistically, what you want to get for the home does not mean that this is what it's worth in the current market. Have you looked at other houses in the area in which you are selling to see if the prices are comparable? You might want to look at 2 or 3 houses listed at the same price as yours, and ask yourself as a buyer, does your house ever come out on top as having the best options and the most space? 7 months is a long time for a house to be on the market, and if all of the feedback is the rooms are too small, sounds like you're overpriced. I think she fully understands that. That's why she's so pissed. Look at any TV house improvement show. You need to declutter, strip out about 50% of the furniture and decor, into storage. Probably redecorate in neutral colors. Rooms look bigger if not overcrowded. That won't change next year. Get your ass in gear. Stage your house and get new photos. Good luck. She needs to grow up. There are worse things happening in the world. Does she work? What's stopping her saving up so she can move sooner? My 22F boyfriend, 26M, insisted he was having a posh WNK. Hi guys, I'll try to keep this quick. For context, my boyfriend and I have been together for 3 months. Essentially I, 22F, have been abroad for the past few weeks while my boyfriend, 26M, has been at work, but at home the majority of the time following a small surgery. Yesterday I saw him for the first time in 3 weeks and we went back by him to pick something up before coming back to my house. Important to note is that when I left we had 4 condoms left in the box. He came into the room and gave me 2 condoms to bring back to my house, and when I checked the box it was empty, meaning that 2 condoms are missing. I confronted him about this and he insists he had a posh WNK, or 2, and that he would never do that to me as he has been cheated on before, that people would have seen him bring someone home, and that he tells me every time someone messages him. He has also said that if he ever felt the urge to be with someone else he would simply break things off with me due to seeing what cheating did to his family. His ex has been messaging him frequently regarding household things like Wi-Fi from when they used to live together, and due to the surgery he spent a lot of time in the area as he was still registered there. He often doesn't say a lot about where he goes and what he does, which is normal for us, but the lack of communication makes me worried that something has happened and he's lying to me. He treats me very well and he's a very kind person, but I'm worried that it's a facade and that he's just like every other guy. How likely is it that the reason behind the missing condoms be that he has cheated on me? Too long did not read. My boyfriend and I's pack of condoms is missing too after I've been away for 3 weeks and he insists he used them alone. I've never used a condom for self-pleasuring, but I've heard of others doing so for easier cleanup. I personally find it suspicious, but that's countered by how open he appears to be. If there are no other signs or flags, I keep my radar on passive mode, but not off. I mean, seems believable, right? What with all the explanation he gave you? Not sure what you want from a bunch of lunatics on the internet. I mean, guys do that sometimes. I've done it. It's a novelty, and it does make cleanup easier. And cheaters don't always practice safe sex since the thrill and risk is part of the draw. Either you trust him or you don't. If you don't trust him and trust Reddit more than your boyfriend, then don't be in a relationship with him. I mean, that's kind of a silly way to describe it, but his story is pretty plausible. A lot of people use condoms when they masturbate in order to avoid making a mess. I wouldn't worry about it unless you find evidence of infidelity. Easier cleanup, I do that.